Welcome, everyone.
Yeah.
Thank you. I get the honor of kicking off the festivities and introducing a few important people. My name's Eric Hallman. I'm on the Hillsborough Town Board. All right, I'll swallow the mic. How's that?
Swallow it.
All right. I'll start. Holly says I have to start again.
Second man.
Well, welcome everybody. I have the honor of introducing some important people and kicking off the festivities today. My name is Eric Hallman. I'm a commissioner on the Hillsborough Town Board, and my first order of business is to recognize those elected officials that are here, and I prefer to think of them as public servants because they certainly aren't doing this for the fame and fortune. They are doing this for each and every one of us. And the first person I'd like to recognize is Senator Valerie Fouché. She's up there on the... And next, Representative Erla Insko. Right here. There she is, right here. And Representative Craig Meyer. And then from the Orange County Board of County Commissioners, Barry Jacobs, who you'll hear from in a few minutes. And I know there are other Board of County Commissioners that will show up. Everybody's kind of stretched thin today at various events, and if they show up later, we will definitely recognize them. From our own Hillsborough Town Board, I'd like to recognize, I'd like to first say that Commissioners Brian Lowen and Commissioners Evelyn Lloyd unfortunately had family issues that they couldn't be here today, so they send their regrets. I'd like to recognize Commissioner Kathleen Ferguson and Commissioner Jen Weaver. And now it's my honor to turn it over to the chair of the Board of County Commissioners for Orange County, Barry Jacobs.
Good afternoon. The mayor asked me to keep this short and sweet, and since I'm already short, I'll just make it sweet. Yes. And we also have a member of the Chapel Hill Carborough School Board here, Mia Burrow. The only thing the town asked us to do for this event was to make sure it was a nice day. They forgot to ask us to control the temperature, however, so we did the best we could. On behalf of Orange County and the Board of Commissioners, I'm just here to congratulate Hillsborough. We have a long-standing partnership. It goes back to the 1700s. Hillsborough is the county seat. We take pride, even if it's just vicariously, in all the great things that are happening in Hillsborough and how the current board and immediate past boards have managed to make a great effort in trying to preserve the character of Hillsborough and at the same time embrace the change in Hillsborough. And this is another manifestation of how they've been able to do that. The best thing that government can do is connect people. This Riverwalk will connect people, and moreover, it'll connect them to the Eno River. And long after we're all gone, the Eno River will still be rolling along. And I'm supposed to introduce Mayor Tom Stevens.
Thank you, and look to your neighbor, look to the left, look to the right, look all around you, and can you join me? Just say out loud, welcome to Riverwalk.
Welcome to Riverwalk.
We are here to celebrate today. What we want to do with this very short time is three things. We're going to talk a little bit about story and have some time for gratitude. So thanks for the folks who helped make this happen. And then we'll have a few words of celebration. We cannot talk about Hillsborough, happening Hillsborough, it's happening today, historic Hillsborough, Hillsborough on the Eno. We can't really have a conversation about this special place that we love without talking about the people who've been here, those who are here today, those who've come before us, and like planting trees for those who's going to come after us. And also woven into the entire story of Hillsborough is the Eno River, is our river. It is very much part of it. It goes way back to, for hundreds of years, a millennium, more than a millennium, when the Saponi were here, and the Occaneechi, and they made their home here, and they were guides, and provided guest services for people who travel down the great paths. And then Europeans came to live in this area, and Africans came to live in this area, and it became the county seat. And Orange County was the county seat, back goes to 1752, if I'm recalling correctly. And at that time, the county of Orange went all the way to what's now Greensboro, to all the way to the other side of Raleigh. It was really the part of central North Carolina. And it was all really in many ways about it was here because of the river. The schools that were here, Nash and Colic Street, this road here is named after, right here on the banks of the river. Hillsborough is known for its Revolutionary War clock. And yet there's a story about how the river, how they had to hide during the Revolutionary War, the weights for that clock. Recently, from the Civil War, there was a cannonball that was found when the left over from when the soldiers were doing firing. If you find another cannonball, please be careful. You do not want to be picking up any cannonballs that you happen to be finding. They're pretty rare. So, the Eno continues to be an inspiration for our writers, for the artists who are here, and it is so important to our town. For everybody who lives here, it is our drinking water. You know, it is the water that has fueled industry back from the very, very early mills that went back when the county seat was created in the 1750s, to our textile mills, to now some of our other beloved industries like mystery brewing, off that good Hillsborough water from our local craft beer. Hillsborough and the river connects many other beloved and historical places, like this historic speedway that was mentioned in the poem, and Air Mount, and Occaneechi Mountain. There's so many stories that are wrapped up in Hillsborough. Everyone here today has a story in your personal life about what Hillsborough means to you, about how you are Hillsborough, even if you're here on the Riverwalk for the very first day and part of this event, that's part of your story. So there are a few stories that I think are very important to talk about how Riverwalk itself got started, because the river has always been part of our lives, because it is our drinking water, and when we had a reservoir to make sure that we had a steady source of water in the river, at some point we wanted to look at ways we could protect the watershed, and we're looking at some various grants to do that. And we're not very successful at it, and then someone said, you know, we could protect this watershed if we made it a park along the river. I wonder if we could do that. And a first group in the late 90s, Charles Berger, Wendy Olson, Louis Kallman were here, and very first people who were championing something, and they did a feasibility study and said, you know, this is something that we can do. And it is unfortunate that Charles Berger, who devoted lots and lots of time, and Wendy Olson, who devoted lots of time, and we're looking at trees and looking about how this whole Riverwalk could be put together, did the very first thing, and were both died in tragic accidents. And you know, weren't able to see this come to fruition. And that's why you'll see a plaque on this bridge over here that this bridge is named the Wendy Olson and Charles Berger Bridge. You cannot tell the story of Riverwalk, of people who took that dream of Riverwalk, and we tried a lot of different things. We asked a lot of folks about where we could do it. We had a plan maybe going down Margaret Lane, and got a lot of pushback from people. Some folks liked it, some folks didn't. Weren't sure it was going to happen. And then Peggy Cates Bartow. The Cates family have been so involved in this town for many generations. There's the Lord High Mayor, Fred Cates, who was there for many, many years, and Peggy Cates Bartow, who was so instrumental in providing the land for Occaneechi Mountain, and said, you know, yes, I would make this land available. And then we were able to get Riverwalk underway. And so it's her story about why we have so many natural areas available, because main part of the loop trail that goes through some of that property, the Peggy Cates Bartow loop. So we will do that in a little bit. And I know Walter Faribault is here. The Faribault family, Mr. Faribault, we're so glad that you're here today. The Faribauts were also so instrumental in making it because, and I think when Peggy Bartow said, "Yep, I'm in on this," and we had a lot of talking to do because Mr. Faribault says, "I love this land. It's hard. I want it to be in my family, and do I really want to give it up?" And he did it so we can all enjoy it. And so, known for. And there's great stories. I think it was your great-great-grandmother who was the midwife, had a little bridge across the river and provided. And so there's the story after story that is woven into our Riverwalk. And from there, the rest is history. It's really about community. It's about coming together. And we have this very fabulous place that we can share. Now, all of you know me well enough to know we're going to have to do some things together. And so there's the story of every single person who contributed. And we're not going to be able to tell every story or name every name, but there's a few that we need to go through. And I want your help to express gratitude. Are you willing to do that?
Yep.
What I'd like you to do is when I give you the word, I'd like you to say, I'm going to name some names and tell some quick stories. And I would just like you to say, yell out just there, right there, the gratitude that you're feeling, and just say, thank you. When I get through that section, or we'll do that 5 times. Or can you do that? Give me a practice right now.
Thank you.
Awesome. So the first folks that we really want to thank are folks who actually did the work, did the construction on this. Particularly, and if you were, if I list your company, if I list your name, if you would just sort of sing out, raise your hand, let people know that you're here. The design engineering firm, Summit Design. I know Jim Parker is here with family. Celebrating their anniversary. Those folks from Summit Design, in particular, had an incredible team, worked with the town from this very earliest design period, and they did really the engineering and the construction and management. We also had a lot of subcontractors, Alpha and Omega, who did bridge design and hydraulic analysis, the Catanina Group, who did environmental analysis and permitting, ESI, who did cultural and archaeological analysis and permitting, Contech, who did these fabulous bridges. What a wonder to behold when they brought those things in. Our construction teams, D.H. Griffin, that is now called the Hurley Group. They did the general contracting, responsible for phases 2 and 3, and McQueen Construction, who did the Calvin Street Connector Trail. Will you give them all a thank you?
Thank you.
You've got to see the signage. The beautiful signs that you're seeing along the way. That came from the Design Workshop, which is a graphic design and technical specification of interpretive signs. And they were manufactured and fabricated and installed by Color Ad. There are also the folks who did our wayfinding signs that are so wonderful throughout our community. There's also a lot of volunteers, the Interpretive Signage Committee, who were individual citizens who helped, when you read these signs, the incredible history of the river in Hillsborough and the people and the stories. You'll hear much more about them. You'll see them on those signs. And so I really want to thank some of those folks who were on that sign committee. Jim and Benny Davis, Sarah DeJaneiro, Stuart Dunaway, Betty Ann Eidner, Walter Faribault, Brandy Fields, Tom Magnuson, Steve Rankin, Holly Reed, Peter Sandbeck, Kathleen Turner, and folks in the planning department. Will you give them a hearty thank you? Our funding partners. It took a lot of money to make this beautiful trail. And particularly want to sing out to the Parks and Recreation Trust Fund, who I think we had 2 separate grants. Each of those was over $400,000 to contribute to that. I know we have Vonda Martin here, who's the Central West Coast Regional Consultant for Trail Program Grants. Vonda, thank you. I'm glad you're here. Also, our other partners, the Eno River Association, the Alliance for Historic Hillsborough, SunTrust Bank. Also want to add a lot of other agencies who are very involved. Our permitting authorities, FEMA, the Army Corps of Engineers, North Carolina Department of Environmental Natural Resources, Division of Water Quality, and the Division of Land Quality. NCDOT, Chuck Edwards was very helpful. The North Carolina Railroad, without their partnership, we would not have the Calvin Street connector. And I think Scott Saylor here, who's president of the North Carolina Railroad, if you're here, I want to welcome you.
I'm not Scott.
You're just work for the railroad, so just delighted the railroad's here. Dolores Hall, who's the Deputy State Archaeologist, and Steve Davis, who's with UNC Archaeology, Duke Energy, who granted use of power line easements for the trail for Phase 2, the Orange County Building and Inspections Department in Orange County. I know just having to go the easements to get other signages in the park, and we're really working in how we intersect Riverwalk with River Park. Will you give a hearty thank you for all these folks?
Thank you.
There are a few others we still want to mention. The Walkable Hillsborough Coalition for their advocacy and support over many years. Emergency Services and the Orange Rural Fire Department, who helped develop this emergency marker system. You will see every 10th of a mile, there's a little marker that says exactly where you are in the trail. That has already come into use. We had a biking accident or two where they had to come in, and it was very helpful. Where are you? I don't know. Oh, here's the marker. We can get help to somebody very quickly because of that. They helped design that. Also want to recognize the Occaneechi Band of the Saponi Nation for their support in the history and maintaining the trail and keeping the village that we have in River Park. Bill Crowther's here, American Classical Homes Preservation Trust, the Speedway, Occaneechi Historic Speedway, Airmount. They've been very, very helpful, and they're going to make a connection, so you'll be able to walk right from here to the Speedway, so we're very happy about them. The Friends of the Mountains to Sea Trail, we're really celebrating Phase 2 and 3, but also Phase 1 was Gold Park and Alex Gold and all the folks who put together Gold Park. We want to thank them. And folks who helped with the celebration, again, the Alliance for Historic Hillsborough, the Hillsborough and Orange County Chamber of Commerce, and Weaver Street Market just contributed an enormous amount to making this possible. There's others I haven't mentioned, but for all those folks, once again, would you give a hearty thank you? Last but not least, the town of Hillsborough. And it is such an honor to serve as mayor and represent what a fine town. We always I think of Hillsborough as a place, a small town that gets it right. We do it with our citizenry, we do it with local government. We have a lot of volunteer boards, the Parks and Recreation Board, who did the designs of this. The Historic District Commission is very involved in this. The Hillsborough Tree Board just planted this beautiful elm tree that's going to grow here that we'll be able to enjoy day in, day out. The Tourism Board, which helped fund this, helps fund this celebration. I don't think there was a town department who was not involved in the Riverwalk here, administration, all of the town department under the leadership of Eric Peterson, our town manager, does fabulous work. Administration department, our finance department, Public Works, who are out here every day keeping the place clean and safe, our utilities department, planning, especially our police department. We have several of our officers who are here. They're patrolling this town every day. Our stormwater resource officer is here. We have press information folks. Our safety officer who provided this little safe box for me to stand on. Just everybody in town. We have, just close to about 90 employees, and they have really pitched together. I would be remiss if I did not mention two people in particular. This would not be here without them. First one is Margaret Houth, our planning director. And she is probably working somewhere, manning booth. She has worked so hard for that. She is the one who really helped build the relationships with Ms. Bartow and Mr. Faribault, and helped bring everyone to make sure that we were able to acquire the land and keep this project moving. And the person who I think of as the face of Riverwalk, who's out there every day, who brought this whole project in, pulled it together, brought it in under budget and on time, is Stephanie Trueblood, who's out here with her. Will you give everybody in the town of Hillsborough who did this, would you give them a big thank you?
Thank you.
My fellow commissioners, will you join me up here? Eric and Jen, and I would just want you to stand here with me again in celebration If you will help me, we're going to do a little proclamation, and I just need you to help signal, because we're going to think you did great on the thank yous. There is a particular word we use when we only use it when we do proclamations. It's really weird. But we're going to use it today, and that word is, what's that word? Whereas. Can you give one practice? Whereas. So, we're going to do a little proclamation as part of our celebration. We need everyone to just sing this out. We're going to start, a proclamation is basically a series of sentences, and then we make a declaration, and then we're just going to make a joyful noise. When we make a joyful noise, a lot of you have bells. Some of you brought bells. You can clap, you can make other kinds of noise. What we want to do is, like the river that has that sort of wonderful sound, like the birds and the wildlife that you hear, we just want to make a joyful noise. I think at the bridges there's some crooks that if you hang your bells there, that people can just ring them all day long, going back and forth across the bridge. You can put your bridge, you can wear your bell, but if you just put them there so other people can use them, that's another thing we would invite you to do. Or if you see the bell there, pick up the bell and ring it across the bridge so people can hear it all day long, and then put it back on the other side. So let us begin. If you will help me signal. Whereas the town of Hillsborough has opened all 3 phases of Riverwalk, connecting trails, parks, neighborhoods, historic sites, downtown, and other amenities with the Eno River for the benefit of residents and visitors alike.
Whereas
Riverwalk represents a significant and wise investment of the town, bringing preservation, recreation, health, lifestyle, and economic benefits to our residents and visitors.
Whereas
Riverwalk provides connections to other important and beloved places outside of town, including the Eno Mountain State Park, Occoneechee Speedway, Airmont, and is an integral part of the North Carolina Mountains to the Sea Trail.
Whereas
We officially recognize and dedicate a portion of the trail to be named the Peggy Cates Bartow Loop.
Whereas
We officially recognize and dedicate the bridge located near National College Street right here as the Whitney Olson and Charles Berger Bridge.
Whereas
Assembled this day, October 11, 2014, are people from all walks of life and many places for the purpose of thanking everyone who played a role in creating Riverwalk and celebrating its opening. Therefore, I, your mayor, along with the Hillsborough Town Council members, the citizens of Hillsborough, other assorted dignitaries, our friends, our neighbors, fans of Riverwalk, I believe that's all of you, we all hereby dedicate and celebrate Riverwalk. Make a joyful noise. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. This really concludes the celebratory part of our day, but we have a lovely day here. Our staff, I said, is always above my pay grade about arranging for the weather, but I really thanks Orange County again for being able to do that. Enjoy your day. Enjoy the trail. There's welcome booths at Gold Park, up at the Farmers Market, and right here by Weaver Street Market. Give yourselves a round of applause one more time and just have a fabulous time here in Hillsborough.